Nicholas Gumbo.
Day-to-day operations in their dockets. Obligations of accounting officers. Mr. Speaker, Section 68(1) of the Public Finance Management Act 2012 provides inter alia that an accounting officer for a national government entity, Parliamentary Service Commission, and the judiciary shall be accountable to the National Assembly for ensuring that resources of the respective entity for which he or she is the accounting officer are used in a way that is lawful and authorized, and effective, efficient, economical, and transparent. This provision, Mr. Speaker, obligates all accounting officers to appear before the Public Accounts Committee of the National Assembly to respond to audit queries in their respective ministries, departments, and agencies. In addition, Mr. Speaker, Section 74(2) of the same Public Finance Management Act 2012 stipulates as follows: that if a cabinet secretary reasonably believes that an accounting officer is engaging in or has engaged in improper conduct within the meaning of subsection 4, the cabinet secretary, Mr. Speaker, shall, and the operating word here is shall, take such measures as may be provided for in regulations or refer the matter to the relevant office or body in terms of the statutory and other conditions of appointment or employment applicable to that accounting officers. Mr. Speaker, sir, this section therefore empowers the appointing authority to discipline errant accounting officers, which it could include, among other things, revoking the appointment. These provisions seal a long-standing loophole that has previously seen accounting officers continuously commit or preside over fiscal indiscipline and malpractices in their ministries with impunity without sanctions. Mr. Speaker, on the obligations of holders of authority to incur expenditure, that is the AIE, this, to facilitate day-to-day running of ministries, departments, and agencies, the public finance regulations accord accounting officers power to incur expenditure on their behalf in a manner that is lawful and within limits. The accounting officer still retains responsibility for the expenditure of the vote. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Public Accounts Committee applied varied sections of other relevant laws to cover the whole spectrum of the matter at hand. These include, but not limited to, the following: the Banking Act 1989 with subsequent amendments, the Central Bank of Kenya Act with subsequent amendments, the Public Procurement and Disposal Act of 2005, the Public Procurement Regulations 2006, the Process of Crime and Anti-Money Laundering Act 2009, popularly known as the Procamla Law. 6, the National Youth Service Act. 7, the National Assembly Standing Orders. And 8, the Constitution of Kenya 2010. Mr. Speaker, the Public Accounts Committee strongly holds the view that these provisions of the law were intended to be fully applied to give effect to the high principles in Article 201 of the Constitution stated herein above, to ensure prudent and responsible use and safeguard of public funds. The committee has accordingly applied these provisions to recommend diverse recommendations, investigations, and surcharging of various persons found to bear responsibility for breaches of the law and or responsible for the loss or wastage of public funds. Mr. Speaker, the executive summary of the report. The committee in its own motion requested for a special audit of the books of accounts of the National Youth Service and the Ministry of Devolution and Planning from 2013 to date, once the scandal came to public light. The Auditor General's report provided a basis for the committee's investigation, and it revealed massive fraudulent activities, including the loss of Kenya shillings 791,385,000, a further Kenya shillings 609,252,750 and 60 cents, and an attempted theft of Kenya shillings 695,400,000, among other irregularities. On further investigations, Mr. Speaker, undertaken by the committee called for submissions from the Permanent Secretary of Public Service and Youth Affairs and the Director of ISMIT, which revealed that the sum in question, which may have been misappropriated and needs to be further investigated by both the Director of Criminal Investigations and the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, may have been to the tune of Kenya shillings 23 billion for the entire ministry, of which slightly over 10 billion is directly traceable to the operations of the National Youth Service. Mr.